So good evening, everybody, and welcome to Rugby Brough Council's Cabinet meeting. I'm Councillor Michael Moran, Leader of the Council and Chair of Cabinet. The meeting has been web streamed to the public through the Council's YouTube channel. During the meeting, when asked to speak, please use the push to talk button on the microphone in front of you. Before we begin the formal agenda, I am obliged to read out the following fire notice. There is no fire drill scheduled in the building this evening. If the fire alarm does sound, then please could I ask you make your way out of the building, down the stairs, and out of the main doors at the Town Hall and congregate at the entrance to Caldecott Park. An officer of the Council will give instructions on when it is safe to return to the building. So thank you for listening. On to the agenda. Item 1, minutes. Do I have a proposer of the last minutes?
Chair, I'll move the minutes of the 4th of November.
And a seconder, please.
I'll second it.
Great, thank you, Councillor O'Rourke. And then all in favour, please. All show of hands. Great. Okay, that's unanimous. Thank you. Apologies. Could I ask Chief Executive for any apologies?
Thank you, Chair. We've received apologies from Councillors Robinson and Roodhouse.
And item 3, declarations of interest. Get the right category. So, got in the first instance any non-pecuniary interests as defined by the Council's Code of Conduct for councillors. Anything at all? Okay, item B, pecuniary interests as defined by the Council's Code of Conduct for councillors. No. And C, notice under Section 106, the Local Government Finance Act 1992, non-payment of community charge or council tax. Do we have anybody that's liable there? Nope. Okay, we'll move on. Thank you very much. Item 4, public question time. Chief Executive, do we have any questions?
Chair, there are no questions this evening.
Okay, thank you. Just really conscious of perhaps some additional interest in this Cabinet meeting compared to others. It's probably worth everyone trying to remind the public of the opportunity to ask questions at both Cabinet and full Council. That should hopefully be a positive move to improve transparency and engagement. I don't know if that's something that Dan could possibly think about how we could advertise that a bit more, because I think it's an unknown opportunity for the public. Okay, so if I move on to the agenda, and as everyone knows, it's an extraordinary meeting because it's a one-item agenda, which on local government reorganisation, I propose to move that item from the chair. And we have obviously the all of the papers in front of us. But first, could I ask a colleague to, if I move from the chair, could I ask someone to second it, please?
Chair, I will second that report as printed.
Okay, thank you very much, Councillor Mystery. I'm very conscious that only recently we spent a good deal of time in the chamber running through all this, so I don't propose to repeat that. And obviously I want to take this opportunity to listen to any further comments from councillors across the two different groups. What I will say is that, as I said at the outset, I think that I'm genuinely proud of this piece of work. I think it's an example of the best of the council in terms of coming together, both officers and cross-party, and trying to do the best for the town and for the borough. I'm proud of the fact that we waited until all evidence and information was available to appraise the different options available to us. I particularly want to thank Chief Executive Dan Green for all of his work and diligence, because I know as much as I engaged in a number of meetings, I know, Dan, that you were up and down the length of the country. I think it's really important, because I think if we're serious about what we do, then I think recognising that a lot of people depend on some of the services that both we do from this town hall, but also that our partners across the county do, and it's therefore right and fitting that we do take the effort to really look at this change deeply. And I guess the conclusion that we reached, having asked an independent consultant to assess those options, that I think there was effectively unanimous. I'm not quite sure how to describe the word. It was unanimous, but with an abstention. But effectively unanimous. I think it's really a testament to the information that was put forward, I think, dispassionately, that I think in the first instance, the single unitary option does give the opportunity for the greatest financial resilience and robustness, which almost for such key services has got to be almost perhaps the primary consideration. But I think also looking more positively, I think that the view of a single unitary offering an opportunity for better integration and better collaboration across the county. And that's without getting on to any of the other topics that perhaps other colleagues might want to touch on. So really pleased with that. And probably the element that I'm most almost keen to speak on is an idea that actually we were faced with two options, but I think the best way forward for both Rugby and the county is a third option that you know we've termed a Rugby model option, that actually it's taking the best of both elements really, but I think that idea of a genuinely new council with a new culture, with a new structure that is decentralised and offers a base in Rugby and other major towns gives people a greater access to democracy and a greater opportunity to kind of share in a new structure. So I'm really pleased with that. And then last but not least, listening to some of the comments from colleagues, and I think also some of the comments across social media, is an idea that we can take forward, is engaging in a meaningful consultation exercise with residents of Rugby and businesses and our voluntary sector partners, such that we can look to validate, I guess is the right word, options available to us now that the detail is clear. So that's something that we need to do. But in the first instance, now's an opportunity that colleagues from the Conservative group and the Liberal Democrat group have had an opportunity perhaps to dwell and to any further thoughts on further to our debate. Obviously, we've published a draft letter that we can put forward to the Minister on Friday. Got to make sure that we don't forget to meet the deadline. But I guess now an opportunity to pass to colleagues for any of the further comments that we can then look to incorporate if necessary. So if I go first just to Councillor Poole or Councillor Ward.
Thank you, Chairman. Yeah, as you know, the Conservative group voted for a single unitary, and as you know, our parish council sent a letter in saying they fully support what the Rugby Brough Council have done. However, you just alluded to page 9, paragraph 4.3 of the report, and it's on the consultation by the Ministry of Housing and Communities and Local Government. When we tell people at our parish councils that very little information is forthcoming from central government, and they ask us, will there be a consultation? We did say we didn't know at that time, but the question that they're now asking is, how will the government consult? And that's the only comment I've got on the report, Chairman. Oh, and if we do agree that there's a flavour for this comment being put into your letter, you could squeeze a paragraph in saying how are you going to consult, would be nice.
I'm tempted to make reference to the independent kingdom of Woolston, but I'll hold back. If I go back to the Liberal Democrat group, Councillor Mackenzie.
Thank you. It was a pleasure actually to be in Chamber last week and see such a large amount of cross-party support for the single unitary, but the Rugby version thereof. And I think I want to just dwell again on the issue of the continuing authority. Warwickshire have put themselves forward to wanting to be the continuing authority, which means effectively everybody joins them rather than it becoming a completely new unitary. And I know we've written in the letter against the Warwickshire as a continuing authority, but I'm really keen that we don't accept their dysfunction. And whilst that will be a part of what the shadow authority needs to do, but I was just sat in a meeting today and hearing that a road needs 23 different departments within highways at Warwickshire to approve it. 23 different departments, 3 different associate directors. under a portfolio of highways. No wonder highways never gets built. No wonder things never happen. No wonder we have millions spent on a bridge to nowhere. This is not good management. This is not good structure and organisation. And there's no reason why we should have any appetite to be joined into that organisation and allow their dysfunction to become our dysfunction. We need a new organisation where we can sweep away some of this absolute nonsense that goes on. And it just needs to be so clear to the Minister that Warwickshire as a continuing authority is not an acceptable solution. There are other ways forward. And I say to the electorate, please take the shadow elections really seriously when they come round in 2027, because they are going to set the tone for what the new unitary looks like. And they could set the tone for it to be basically Warwickshire with bolt-ons. And I think that would be an incredibly bad model. So vote for people who are going to actually genuinely bring a new organisation forward that can genuinely drive what we need here in Warwickshire, whatever the Minister decides, whether that's one or two. So I think that was really mostly the comment I wanted to make. I just also wanted to say that, you know, it was really good to see the unity on creating a rugby council. I think it will be also the consultation that will be held in terms of governance, I think will be incredibly important. Parish councils are such a mainstay of democracy. And so having a town council will also be a mainstay of democracy for the majority of the people who live within the borough. And, you know, strengthening that and their governance and and what they can achieve is going to be really important, and carving away things from the unitary, to be honest, so that things stay delivered locally. So very important piece of work. The government consultation will be in the spring. Whether they'll pay a blind bit of attention to what our residents say, I couldn't possibly comment on, but I will certainly do my best to let people know when that government consultation comes forward, and I'm sure Rugby Brough Council will do the same. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Councillor Mackenzie. I agree, endorse all of that. I would really wanted to come back on the consultation point, and to Councillor Poole. I think first and foremost, really clear and important just to make the distinction between there's going to be a statutory government consultation, as kind of Councillor Mackenzie alluded to in the spring. And I think the best that we can do really is make take a look at other areas of the country, whether Surrey or Sussex, that have gone through local government reorganisation a bit earlier in the cycle, as to how the consultation processes took place there. So that's probably some learnings that we can get from that. I think within that, first and foremost, we've got an opportunity now, almost, that we were asked to declare our hand in terms of making a decision collectively within Warwickshire. But within that gives us the opportunity potentially to be first at hand in terms of actually consulting our residents and our businesses and voluntary sector on the options that are actually available to us. So that will hopefully be an opportunity to consult early in the new year of actually what's available. So then, to take Councillor Mackenzie's point, we've then got something tangible to fight with in the period that may follow. Because I think everyone should be under no illusions now that effectively the hard work does start now, both externally to make that case for a really democratic, decentralised council across Warwickshire that we all discussed and we all spoke about, but equally internally, where we've got work to do in terms of exercising whatever ideas that we have in relation to how parish councils can be strengthened, as you say, to which new areas, new villages that are not parished, how they come forward, and then what the confines and boundaries of Rugby Town Council might look like and what that could include. And then last but not least, we've got to really focus on the assets that the council has, both tangible assets in terms of the library, the museum, the sports centre, but also the financial assets and how those are ring-fenced and protected in the most positive sense, from a paternal sense. If those monies have been paid by Rugby's residents and businesses in a form over the years, then it's appropriate that they are spent in Rugby in the villages. So a huge amount of work to do. Again, I just want to thank everybody once again for all the work, both officers and colleagues across the chamber to date. But I guess in conclusion, I know, Dan, you've been taking some notes. We'll make some amendments. A letter will go in by Friday's deadline, subject to approval with colleagues. So based on all of that, I'll not try and summarise it in a sentence, but colleagues, can we agree to take that forward if you agree? So if we're going to put that to the vote, please. Okay, that's great. It's unanimous. Thank you very much. Almost with delight, I can say that that's the end of the meeting, and we can conclude.